We can't shut our eyes to the fact that as the Soviet military power increased, so did their willingness to embark on military adventures. The scars are plainly evident in a number of third world countries. We're also aware that though the Soviet Union is historically a land power, virtually self-sufficient in mineral and energy resources, and land linked to Europe and the vast stretches of Asia, it has created a powerful blue ocean navy that cannot be justified by any legitimate defense need. It is a navy built for offensive action, to cut the free world supply lines and render impossible the support by sea of free world allies. By contrast, the United States is a naval power by necessity, critically dependent on the transoceanic import of vital strategic materials. Over 90% of our commerce between the continents moves in ships. Freedom to use the seas is our nation's lifeblood. For that reason, our Navy is designed to keep the sea lanes open worldwide, a far greater task than closing those sea lanes at strategic choke points. Maritime superiority for us is a necessity. We must be able in time of emergency to venture in harm's way, controlling air, surface, and subsurface areas to assure access to all the oceans of the world. Failure to do so will leave the credibility of our conventional defense sources in doubt. We are, as I said, building a 600-ship fleet, including 15 carrier battle groups. But numbers are not the final test. Those ships must be highly capable. The New Jersey and her sister ships can outgun and outclass any rival platform. This 58,000-ton ship, whose armor alone weighs more than our largest cruiser, is being recommissioned at no more than the cost of a new 4,000-ton frigate. The Big J is being reactivated with the latest in missile, electronic warfare, and communications technology. She's more than the best means of quickly adding real firepower to our Navy. She's a shining example of how this administration will rebuild America's armed forces on budget and on schedule, and with the maximum cost-effective application of high technology to its existing assets. The New Jersey's mission is to conduct prompt and sustained operations worldwide in support of our national interests. In some cases, deployment of the New Jersey will free up our overstressed aircraft carriers for other uses. While the aircraft carrier remains the foundation of American naval power, the battleship will today be the sovereign of the seas. In support of amphibious operations, the New Jersey's 16-inch guns can deliver shells as heavy as an automobile with pinpoint accuracy. And with a speed of 35 knots, the New Jersey will be among the fastest ships afloat. History tells us that a delegate to the Continental Congress called the creation of our Navy the maddest idea in the world. Well, we've been questioned for bringing back this battleship, yet I would challenge anyone who's been aboard or even seen the New Jersey to argue its value. It seems odd and a little ironic to me that some of the same critics who accuse us of chasing technology and gold-plating our weapon systems have led the charge against the superbly cost-effective and maintainable New Jersey. I doubt if there's a better example of the cost consciousness of this administration than the magnificent ship that we're recommissioning today. However, even with maximum efficiency and an eye toward making every dollar count, we must not fool ourselves. Providing an adequate defense is not cheap. The price of peace is always high, but considering the alternative, it's worth it. Teddy Roosevelt said it well: "We Americans have many grave problems to solve, many threatening evils to fight, and many deeds to do, if, as we hope and believe, we have the wisdom, the strength, the courage, and the virtue to do them. But we must face facts as they are. Our nation is that one among all nations of the earth which holds in its hands the fate of the coming years." Today, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of those who worked on the New Jersey. You're a great team, and you did an outstanding job in putting her back into fighting trim. You represent a new spirit, a new sense of responsibility that we must have. A new sense of responsibility that we must have in all our shipyards and defense-related industries if public support for our vital task is to be maintained. This ship, as the Secretary told us, was brought in on time and on budget. And from all reports, the craftsmanship and professionalism of those involved in the project were superior. And I'm pleased to have the opportunity to extend the thanks of a grateful nation. The New Jersey, like any ship in our fleet, will depend on the ability, dedication, and yes, patriotism of you here who are her crew. You're the elite. 6,000 applied for the 1,500 crew spaces on the New Jersey. I have no doubt, too, that from among your ranks will come the Spruances and the Halseys and the Thompsons of tomorrow. A few moments ago, I quoted Teddy Roosevelt. Most people remember him as a man of strength and vitality, and yes, some have an image of a warlike man always spoiling for a fight. Well, let us remember he won the Nobel Peace Prize, an honor bestowed upon him for his courageous and energetic efforts to end the Russo-Japanese War. He knew the relationship between peace and strength, and he knew the importance of a strong Navy. The Navy of the United States, he said, is the right arm of the United States and is emphatically the peacemaker. Woe to our country if we permit that right arm to become palsied or even to become flabby and inefficient. Well, the New Jersey today becomes our 514th ship and represents our determination to rebuild the strength of America's right arm so that we can preserve the peace. After valiant service in Vietnam and after saving the lives of countless Marines, the New Jersey was decommissioned in 1969. During that solemn ceremony, her last commanding officer, Captain Robert Peniston, spoke prophetically when he suggested that this mighty ship, quote, rest well, yet sleep lightly, and hear the call, if again sounded, to provide firepower for freedom, unquote. Well, the call has been sounded. America needs the battleship once again to provide firepower for the defense of freedom and, above all, to maintain the peace. She will truly fulfill her mission if her firepower never has to be used. Captain Fogarty, I hereby place the United States ship New Jersey in commission. God bless and Godspeed.